Good morning, friends from Africa and Latin America. We meet again at the coffee time with a special guest from South Africa. At the coffee time in Colombia is at, at the whatever time. Directly from the University of Johannesburg, a great friend of the Latin American network of counseling professional relabora. With us, Max.Sefotho. The topic that brings us together is one of the main Pan-African paradigms of social development, the Ubuntu model. Hello, Max. Please tell us something about yourself and your relationship with counseling and guidance, please.
Thank you so very much, Amilcar, and thank you very much, and greetings to friends all over the world, but especially in South America. I come a long way with the field of guidance and counseling. I studied at the University of Botswana, where I did my first degree. And then after my first degree, I did a postgraduate diploma in counselor education. That means education of the counselors who are going to go either into general counseling or career guidance or any other type of counseling. Then, for my master's, I studied at the University of Veracruzana in Mexico, where I did my master's in psychology in education, in research in education applied to education. They call it MIPAI, Maestría en Psicología Aplicada a la Educación. And there also, my research was based on secondary school learners and how they choose their careers. And that is where I learned to, go in depth with career guidance. Then I returned to South Africa to do my doctoral degree in learning support and guidance and counseling. And my focus still was on career guidance, but then it was on career guidance of people with disabilities. However, I work across the spectrum, but my focus is on career guidance of people with disabilities.
Okay,
that
very
is
good.
My background.
Okay, very interesting, very intensive background. I understand you work currently at the Johannesburg University.
Yes.
Okay.
I am currently working at the University of Johannesburg in the Department of Educational Psychology, and I work closely with the section of neurodevelopment, and we are looking at the issue of transition of people with disabilities from home into school and the world of work. But again, there, focus is specifically on people with neurodevelopmental disabilities, for example, such as autism and others.
Okay, autism, okay. Very good, Max. The topic of this interview is to talk about the Ubuntu model. And the mandatory question is, what is the Ubuntu model and what are the roots of this model? Please tell us something about that.
Thank you very much about this question, because it is very, very important and also close to my heart. For a long time, indigenous ontologies and indigenous epistemologies were sidelined. They were not used in mainstream psychology. But with the awareness of social justice and cognitive justice, scholars around in Africa and everywhere else where the indigenous systems are strong are beginning to voice out the necessity of bringing into academia indigenous knowledge systems. So the model of Ubuntu comes from the philosophy of Ubuntu, whose central focus is to emphasize the humanity of a human being in relation to others. And it relates very well with how the African people live together in community and sharing everything. Even decision-making, such as choosing a career, is based not only on the individual, but on what the family says, and it can even go to the community supporting the decision of such a person.
I understand this model emphasized in the relationship with the community. It's very important, the community to the construction of human being. I understand good?
Yes, it is very true, because remember that from the saying that moto ke moto kabatu, a human being is a human being because of other human beings.
Yeah,
That is
relationship with others.
the basis, that is the axle upon which the philosophy of Ubuntu rotates, because it says to us that we must, in recognition of ourselves, be making that in acceptance and in recognition of the existence of other human beings. In a way, you can say that it is related to the humanism from the Euro-Western philosophies, but for us, it goes beyond that, because it also takes all aspects of a human being, such as the spirituality and the cosmic relationship of our people to the universe. That is what makes it much more unique.
Okay. Another question we have is, what do you think is the relationship between Ubuntu model and another models of social development as socialism, for instance?
Okay. So socialism emerges from the West. Ubuntu emerges from the cultural day-to-day practice of how people live.
Yeah.
It is not a model or a system that has been thought of by somebody who watched how people lived and wrote about it. But it is a model that is based on the experiences of day-to-day living of our people. And its most important aspects are the connectivity that is there amongst the people, the living together, the support, the respect for other human beings, and everything else that is a principle that is under Ubuntu.
Okay. Do you tell me sometimes that there is a relationship between Ubuntu model and the Euro-Western psychology accommodation? Oh, what is this exactly this relation? How the field of Euro-Western psychology accommodate the Ubuntu model?
Okay, this is a very good question, because it says that the Euro-Western model is the established model, and Ubuntu comes in to be accommodated within an already established model. The Ubuntu model is based on the Ubuntu paradigm, which has existed from the beginning of our African nations, but it was not per se developed in a way that it could be seen and accepted within the field of psychology. But as I said earlier, right now, many scholars are beginning to write to include Ubuntu within the field of psychology, to say this is actually the future of psychology, because Ubuntu unlike the positivist-based model that emphasizes measurement, Ubuntu looks at the person, at the human being, and it asks the following question: what is your narrative? What is your story? What are your needs? Where do you want to go? It does not give answers to the person, but it asks questions that help the person to critically think about their situation and pave the way forward.
Okay, very interesting. We have another question related with the career guidance. How could it it model? How could the Ubuntu model influence career guidance according to your view, your point of view?
Yes, it actually links with what I said earlier. The Ubuntu model can influence career guidance in a very positive way by emphasizing the narrative of the individual within communities. As I said, for us, it's not about talking to this person alone, but you talk to the relatives of this person. Let me make an example. A young lady who is married might want to choose a particular career. But if it is not a career that the family or even the culture allows, it becomes difficult for such a person to make such a decision. Now, this is a bit controversial because feminists would look at it and say, no, you are now suppressing a female. But no, it is not like that, because the decisions that we make in our own homes are dependent on what the family says, not only on what the individual says,
Yeah.
because according to the Ubuntu model, I don't live for myself, I live for my family.
I live in relation with the others. Okay.
Yes, we live in relation with other people.
Okay, very interesting. Maybe we are going to have time again to talk about this topic. We have a final question. What do you think are the possible application of Ubuntu in the field of counseling?
Okay.
Did you told me something, but if you want to specify this.
Yes, the field of Ubuntu in counseling can be used to develop alternative models of assisting the field of career to look at other ways rather than the positivist way of looking at things. For example, in South Africa, where I live now, the field of career guidance has not been very popular because it was used before in terms of measurement, or forgetting the aspect of Ubuntu. And if this Ubuntu aspect can be included in the newly developed models, then it will be able to reach the grassroots level people in their communities, in their locations where they stay, other than it being a model that is only used in offices and in universities, in hospitals. But if it is a model that reaches people down there where they live, then it links very well with the spirit of Ubuntu, and that way it can be a powerful contribution to the field of career guidance.
Very good. I understand the Ubuntu model represents a very different point of view about the life, because different cosmovision, and in this sense, it's very different to the Western cosmovision, Western point of view about the life.
It is.
It's very
It
good,
is.
interesting model. It's according to the indigenous models in America too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Max. Whatever more, what do you want to say about Ubuntu model, and an invitation to study more this model?
Yes, I would say that really for us, it is important that we look at what is referred to as the South-South collaboration. This is a very strong research and application way of looking at things where models also such as Ayala can be infused with Ubuntu, and from the level of the South countries, Latin America and Southern Africa, or Africa as a whole, and also Asia, we come up with a model of research that can help us to strengthen the work that you have been doing of trying to link people who are belonging to the same hemisphere to develop models that speak to their own cultures.
Okay, very good. Thank you. We are going to invite another professionals in this field, such as El Satobar from Colombia, and we're going to invite to Monica Valencia from Ecuador to talk about Abya Yala in relation with the Ubuntu model. I think could be a good interesting conversation, a good interesting interview. Max,
yes.
Thank you a lot for this time and your
Thank you
comments.
so much. All right. Thank you so much.
Amigos de la red latinoamericana, vamos a tener también la posibilidad de tener al pie de este video los comentarios de la traducción de esa interesante entrevista con Max Sefotho de Sudáfrica. Buenos días, Max, que te termine de tomar el tinto. Coffee time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
See you.